Shalom. So in this course we'll see some different Kabbalah concepts, and we'll start with concept number one, which is creation. How does the Kabbalah explain the creation of not only this world, but the whole creation and all the worlds above it? So as the Arizal says that in the beginning there was no existence except his presence. The Creator was alone, there was nothing beside him. He was filling all space, of course in a spiritual understanding of what space is all about. And there was nothing, there was only him and only him. His pure light was filling everything. Nothing, as a matter of fact, could have existed near his light and near the power of his energy. So the first thing that he decided to do, and he wanted to create, is to put a certain distance from his energy, so existence could be possible. So this first act that we call the Tzimtzum, which is the first act in the processes of creation, the Tzimtzum is kind of a retraction of his light, and from, let's say, from the whole space that he was occupying, leaving a space inside in a form of in a circular form to give a possibility of existence. In other words, God retracted his light from this center point, leaving an kind of an empty circular space, and by that of course distancing his light and giving a possibility of what we call nifradim, which means separated beings, to exist. By beings we understand men, women, animals, as well as angels, as well as souls, which all are distinct beings. This is what we call the Tzimtzum. So by retracting his light toward the outside and leaving this empty circular space, there was a reshimu, which is an imprint that was left inside of this round space. Now, by pushing out his light and by putting limit in this around this circular space, God also created what we call the concept of rigor. The concept of rigor is limits. When we talk about rigor, I mean there's limit to things, contrary to bounty, what is by definition no limit. So by doing this act of the Tzimtzum, we created at the same time the concept of limit, which will be the concept of rigor, which is something that is needed for our existence, which is a mixture of bounty and rigor. Now, in this space, there was this imprint, which we call the reshimu, was filled the inside of this circular space. And in this reshimu, in this imprint, is the blueprint of the whole creation. In other words, everything that will exist from the beginning to the end of this existence as we know it is inside this imprint. All the history, everything that will happen from the beginning to the end is already in this reshimu, in this imprint. Now, the second act, if we say that the first one was the Tzimtzum, the second one is that inside this circular space where there's only the imprint came a kav, which is a ray of his light that came directly from him into this circular space. The kav is God's pure light. Okay, it's not an imprint; it's really His light that came in. And then the third act will be a union between this ray of light and the imprint that was inside the space. Now, the mixture of the two and the union of the two will make all creation. It means that all that will be created will be created by the pure light of God, which is the ray, the Kav, and by this imprint that was left before, and together they will make all the world and all the separated beings that will exist after that. Now, once this ray came in, it formed inside the circular space circular, what we call Sefirot, which are Sefirot is the you can say it's a filter. The Sephira is the filter of God's pure light into a different type of quality of how would I say, for example, could be bounty. So a Sephira called Chesed, bounty, is the pure light of God, which is translated into this filter, the Sephira, into bounty. Another Sephira is rigor. It's called Givura. So Givura is the same light, it's always the same pure light, but this filter now is different. It's a filter that will take this pure light and transform it into a quality of rigor. It's called Sephira Givura. So inside this main space, there were 10 Sefirot, circular Sefirot, that encircle the whole space, so one inside the other. And they were going to be from the Sefer Keter to the Sefer to the Sefira Keter to Sefira Malchut, and they are going to be the first manifestation of the guidance of God inside this space, inside this existence. There are different types of Sefirot. These are what we call the circular Sefirot, which are here for the main direction of the world, and for the nature to have its equilibrium and its harmony. They are not influenced in any way by what we do. And because later there will be another type of Sefirot, which we'll call the straight Sefirot, which is in the, like I'm sure you saw this tree, what we call by 3 by 3 triplets of Sefirot, from Sephirotic tree, which is from 1 to the top and 1 to the bottom and 8 in the middle by triplets. This Sefirot will be in charge of governing the world and the existent, but will be influenced by what we do and how we do. And this is the concept of the straight Sefirot, which we'll get in more detail later. So first act of creation, God decides to create. Nothing can exist in His proximity, so He has to create a certain distance from His own energy. He does that by retracting, what we call a Tzimtzum, and leaving a space inside, circular space. In this circular space, though, an imprint of the original light is left. A Kav, a ray of light, comes inside this space, and together with the imprint will make and create all the worlds and all the existence as we know it. So this is the creation as explained in the Kabbalah. Shalom.